How's it going, YouTube? This is Mike's Planted Tank. I really wanted to do a review on YouTube of a product that I have seen a review for, but I have never seen a compare and contrast for. I had a hard time figuring out what was going to be the right choice for me, so hopefully with this review of the Hydor Koralia Nano Wave Pump, the difference between the 240 gallons per hour and the 425 gallons per hour, hopefully I can shed some light and help you make a good decision for your setup. Alright, so this is my 34-gallon planted tank. This thing's about 3 months old. I have a variety of plants in there, ranging from Amazon sword, Java fern, I have some water wisteria, I have some bacopa, I have Rotala. So I just wanted to try a bunch of different things just to see what did well in my tank. I have an Eheim 2217 running on this. That's providing about 250 gallons per hour. I decided not to go with the spray bar. It just didn't really fit in my tank very well, so I just have a direct stream going in from the input valve. That's created a pretty decent amount of flow in the tank, but there was definitely some dead spots. I didn't feel like the plants were really thriving. So I wanted to add the Hydor Nano Koralia Wave Maker, the circulation pump, and I had a tough time figuring out if I wanted to go with the 425 gallons per hour or the 220. I actually went with the 425 thinking that it was going to provide a good amount of flow to help circulate the nutrients and kind of create a little bit of a more clear water for my tank. I've been using the 425 for about 2-3 weeks now, and you know what? It's actually a little bit too much of circulation. I have 2 dwarf gouramis, I have some neon tetras, zebra danios, otocinclus catfish, and the fish just keep getting blown all over the place. The plants are blowing all over the place. So this is my tank with zero flow from the Hydor Koralia Nano circulation pump. There's no flow, it's not on. We can actually see it right here in this corner. I've messed around with the different places of it and where I want it to go. This has actually seemed to work out the best. It creates a little bit of a water surface agitation, but it's still just creating too much flow. So I actually got the 220 gallons per hour, and I'm going to show you guys the difference. Alright, so like I mentioned, this is the tank, the 34-gallon tank with the 425. It's not on right now. I want to just show you what it's looking like so you have something to compare to. It's not on. There's really not much surface movement. My output for my Eheim is in this corner. You can see that surface movement going, but it really just kind of deadens up over here. This tank is 3 feet wide, so 36 inches wide, 12 inches deep, and about 16 inches high. So I wanted to create some water movement, and I'm going to turn it on so you guys can see what this 425 circulation pump looks like. Alright, so the 425 is on. I can definitely see a lot of difference. If you see this Rotala and the straight back in the middle of the tank, it's really getting pushed over. My water wisteria in the back left corner is really getting pushed. And the fish, if you notice, they really start struggling. Before they seemed like they were just really having a good time cruising around, and now they just look like they're really struggling. They're having to swim against this current. It seems like they enjoy it for a little bit, and then it just seems like they tire out and then they hide. A lot of these fish, the zebra danios, the dwarf gouramis, they're middle to upper swimmers, and I noticed that after about 20-30 minutes with this thing on, they end up swimming at the bottom. They don't really hang out at the top. My neon tetras are not really schooling. They're really not enjoying it too much. I think there's just a little bit too much flow. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the top looks like. So it definitely creates that surface agitation that we're all looking for, just to have that good gas exchange to kind of break up any sort of material that kind of floats to the surface so it can get sucked into the filter. I think having the circulation pump is a great idea, because now I have that circulation going over here as well as over here from my Eheim. So I think it's a great idea. However, I think the 425 for my 34 gallon is just a little too much flow. and I wanted to downgrade it to the 220. So now we're gonna just take a look at what the 220 looks like, and just so you guys can see the difference and see the difference in the behavior with the fish. So this is about 5-6 minutes after I turned this 425 on, and I just wanted to show you that the fish are all kind of broken up. The neon tetras are not schooling anymore. The zebra danios aren't schooling anymore. The dwarf gouramis are now hiding. Look, he's down at the bottom there. The other one's in this corner, hiding at the bottom over by the intake valve. The health of the fish is my top priority. I want the fish to enjoy their environment, and it just does not seem like this is working out too well for them, because before this was on, they seemed like they were cruising around, you know, middle to the top of the tank where they're normally at, and it just doesn't seem like this is the best setup for them. It does blow my CO2 bubbles all over the tank, so it does create a really good circulation. However, it's probably just a little too powerful for this 34 gallon. So let's take a look at the 220. All right, so the 220 is hooked up. It's been running for probably about 30 minutes now, and I've noticed the fish do not seem to be fighting the current as much. They definitely seem happier with the 220 hooked up as opposed to the 425. I definitely think there is still a little bit of a current. I put my hand in there to try to compare the two. It's a very soft current. It's not a jet stream by any means. It's definitely a soft flowing current. But I couldn't feel too much of a difference between the 220 versus the 425. What I have to really rely on is looking at the plants. So if I look at my Rotala straight back, I look at my water wisteria, the back left, I don't see them being flexed over, the stems being flexed over as much. When I see the fish swim in front of the pump, they don't seem like they're getting blown to the other side of the tank as much. It just seems like they enjoy it. It does seem like a little bit of too much power to have 24 hours a day, so what I've decided to do is to just turn it off at night. I turn my CO2 off at night, I turn the nano circulation pump off at night. It just gives the fish a more calm environment just to get a restful sleep in and just to be able to relax and not be so stressed out. I really do like the fact that it's circulating my CO2 bubbles really well. It creates a really good surface agitation, just like the 425 did. So I got the agitation on this right side, and I also got the agitation on the left side. I have decided to have it come and just do a nice circular motion around the tank. I have my input coming in this way, and then the water will flow back around here to the circulation pump, and then it gets blown around. That just creates a good movement of all the water and allows all the nutrients to be dispersed to all the plants. I really love the suction cup. The suction cup combo they have. There is a magnet in it that basically pancakes the two together. As far as the size goes, the 220 is literally the exact same size as the 425, so you're not going to get any benefit there. It's about the size of a large egg. So if you went to the store, bought a large egg, that's about the size of these wave makers. You can read all the specs online, but ultimately I am happy with this pump, circulation pump. The 220 does seem to be a little bit less powerful. I think it's going to be a much better fit for my 34 gallon. Please post your questions, any comments, concerns you might have. I've had this going for, like I said, about 3 weeks or so. So I've had a decent amount of experience. I'd love to help you out, make the decision. It's a really good pump. I mean, as you can tell, you can't even hear a single thing. I mean, it's super, super quiet. I've been really impressed with it. So hopefully this helps, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.